to figure out the ideal way to make an already craveable potato even more delicious. All you have to do is dip your chips in chocolate, of course.
No. No, absolutely no. What am I looking at? Guys, I ain't gonna lie. I am so excited to watch this video. Number one reason, I like food a lot. Today we're gonna be reacting to the number one comfort food in every state in the United States. Now, I want you to tell me if these are correct. Or tell me down below what your number one comfort food is. I am so excited to see these. Let's do it.
Get ready for a mouth-watering journey from crispy fried green tomatoes to silky, slippery dumplings and
Wait a minute. I thought this was going to be like dessert food. Oh.
Underdog food favorite. Indulge in the number one comfort foods across states, north and south. Made from thick, chunky slices of fresh green tomato that have been dipped in egg and flour or cornmeal and then fried to golden perfection, fried green tomatoes are the epitome of...
Oh my God. I have never had them, but let me tell you something. I need, help me.
Classic Southern cooking. The dish started as a way to use up unripe tomatoes before they could spoil, and has grown into a staple of Alabama home cooking. Tangy and savory with a satisfying crunch in every bite, these Montgomery faves only get better when dipped in a bit of remoulade or spicy mayonnaise.
I have a funny feeling this video is going to make everyone's mouth water, so I do apologize in advance. Yeah.
Throughout Alaska, king crab legs are a favorite regardless of whether they've been boiled, grilled, steamed, or baked.
Take it back.
Tender, sweet, and succulent on their own, and only better when dipped in a vat of butter, the king crab has come to serve as a symbol of Alaska's resilience.
The only reason I'm saying is because the one time I've ever had crabs, I got food poisoning. And that's kind of put me off it forever. It tasted delicious at the time, but for the next week,
Harvested in the cold waters of the Bering Sea, this prized delicacy is especially treasured by locals who get to enjoy it at its freshest. Chimichangas are made from grilled tortillas that have been filled with ingredients ranging from shredded chicken to beef to pork, and are then rolled up like a burrito and deep fried until golden brown. An Arizona favorite, they provide everything you could want in a classic comfort food. Satisfying crunch, hot savory filling, and mouth-watering toppings like sour cream, hot sauce, and guacamole. It's enough to make even the saltiest superhero fall in love.
Holy
chimichangas.
Chicken and dumplings are typically made from a biscuit-like mixture of flour, baking powder, salt, and milk. The dumpling, which is then dropped into a pot with hot broth and chicken and cooked until doughy, like a noodle. Once a staple for lower-income families, the dish has become a favorite throughout the state of
Are noodles doughy?
Arkansas, including some of Little Rock's most high-end restaurants. When you think of California cuisine, fish tacos likely come to mind, and for good reason. They were created by street vendors working along the coast who wanted a delicious, portable way to sell their catch of the day.
Goodness.
The battered and fried chunks of cod.
That looks so good. I don't know what it is, but having lime juice or like lemon juice over like wraps and chicken, oh, it's so damn good.
Halibut or tilapia served in a warm tortilla and topped with greens, tomato, onion, and lime juice epitomize everything fresh and sunny and ocean-packed that there is to love about the Golden State.
They're so good. I mean, look at this beautiful taco.
Yo, that has to be the first ever food review ever caught on tape right there.
The Rockies, people from Colorado are often called greenies due to the state's distinctive green license plates. But there's another reason to call Colorado locals greenies as well. Their love of chili verde, or green chili.
What is that?
A popular dish first dreamt up by Spanish...
That's honestly right now, and I'm sure it tastes delicious, but it looks like something Shrek would eat. I'm just saying, it looks like something Shrek would eat.
Sweet stew that's perfect for the state's outdoor active lifestyle and brisk, unpredictable weather. The beloved hamburger already holds a place in the Comfort Food Hall of Fame. But in Connecticut, they've swapped out that frying for some perfectly placed steam to create their iconic steamed cheeseburger. Invented a half-century ago in the small town of Meriden, steamed cheeseburgers take everything you already love about regular burgers and make them better. They're juicier, the cheese...
I was about to say, you know that burger is going to be absolutely filled with wetness.
...is meltier, and the bun is even more moist and delicious. Yum. Delaware.
Sometimes burgers can be too sloppy, you know what I mean? You bite into it and suddenly you're having a shower. I hope it's not too slushy, you know? It's not too slushy. What the hell is this?
Slippery dumplings are a wildly popular regional variation on the beloved staple chicken and noodles. In this case, the dish originated with the Pennsylvania Dutch, who also settled parts of Delaware. Slippery dumplings are a lot like traditional noodles, but also chewier and more satisfying, thanks to their jumbo size. Because of their thickness, slippery noodles also tend to soak up all the flavors of the chicken broth they're cooked in, creating a delicious combo of savory and slightly sweet flavors in every bite. Believed by many to have been created in the Florida Keys in the mid-1890s by a woman known only as Aunt Sally, key lime pie is a comfort food dessert loved for its unique mixture of tangy, creamy, and sweet flavors.
Oh, that looks so good.
The pie typically consists of a graham cracker crust that is filled with a mixture of sweetened condensed milk, key lime juice, and egg yolks, and then baked until set. It's then topped with lush whipped cream or frothy meringue, making it the perfect relaxing comfort food.
That is exactly what I thought this video was going to be.
Neighbor to the south, Georgia too chooses pie as its favorite comfort food of choice. Only in this case, it's a pie that pairs perfectly with the state's official moniker of the peach state. It's peach pie.
Slice of peach. Best in Georgia.
Made with fresh, juicy peaches that are baked between 2 layers of flaky golden crust, peach pies have become a staple of Georgia cuisine, as the dessert is the go-to option for countless family gatherings and picnics. A staple in Hawaiian culture for centuries, poke bowls exploded in popularity across the mainland in the last few years. But if you want good, authentic poke, you have to go back to where the dish first started. A typical poke bowl consists of diced raw fish, soy sauce, sesame oil, onions, and seaweed served over white rice. And you don't have to go fancy to get good poke. Some of the island's best comes from casual on-the-go settings, like gas stations and convenience stores. Idaho may be known as the potato state, but when it comes to comfort foods, its residents choose beef all the way. A half-century or so back, a chef in Boise started serving up finger-sized strips of breaded, battered, deep-fried top brown steak, and a regional favorite was born. Finger steaks have been popular throughout.
I really hope you guys haven't started watching this video when you're hungry, because right now you're probably like me and your mouth is just filled with water.
Ever since, typically served with a side of cocktail sauce, these crispy, tender shards of beef are salty and savory on the outside and moist and juicy inside. Perfect for a quick snack or a full-on meal.
Finger steaks? You have some strange foods in Iowa.
Yeah.
Ever heard the term pizza pie? If so, then you might have been talking to someone from Illinois, where the Chicago-style pizza reigns supreme. The ultimate deep dish treat, Chicago-style pizzas were created as an alternative to trendy, thin crust pizzas of the 1940s. They typically consist of a thick...
See, to me, that's not a comfort food. When I hear comfort food, it's like more like a snack. Something you nibble on between meals. That's a full, thick fucking pizza, bro. No?
Buttery crust, tomato sauce, cheese, and toppings. Plus a selection of meats and vegetables served in thick swaths. Almost like a savory Italian...
Man, it looks absolutely delicious though, doesn't it?
Layer cake.
Good God.
But is it really pizza?
This is not pizza!
It's not.
This is tomato soup in a bread bowl!
The European nation of Austria and the state of Indiana may not appear to have much in common at first glance, but they have one big thing in common. The populations of both love tenderloin. In Austria, it's the Wiener Schnitzel, and the comfort food of choice in Indiana is the pork tenderloin sandwich, a slab of luscious pork tenderloin thinly pounded, breaded, and served on a billowy bun. Talk about comfort.
I don't know if I agree with that. Battered pork?
How you prepare these golden ears, folks in Iowa can't get enough of the ever-popular summer staple, sweet corn. The comfort food of choice in the Hawkeye State, Iowa is the largest producer of corn in the nation and the home to some of the most incredible, fresh, sweet corn you may ever get a chance to gnaw off the cob.
I ain't gonna lie, some sweet corn absolutely lathered in butter with loads of salt over it. Oh. I might have to go and get one, bro, I ain't gonna lie.
Shuck it from that leafy green husk, cook until tender, douse it in butter, and let your taste buds soar.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine, but there was once a time when barbecue pitmasters cut off the ends of the brisket and threw them away, thinking no one would want them because they were burnt. They eventually caught on to the error of their ways, and burnt ends, the rich, smoky, and crisp yet juicy tips of barbecued brisket, have become the star of the show ever since. In Kansas City, in particular, home to great barbecue.
This wins so far. Maybe the peach pie wins, but this is neck and neck.
Kentucky's hot brown sandwich
Holy
is a late-night
shit.
snack turned comfort food classic. Created by Fred K. Schmidt, a chef at Louisville's Brown Hotel in the 1920s, the dish was originally intended to feed out-of-town guests and locals who had danced in the hotel's ballroom until the wee hours. Schmidt dreamt up an open-faced sandwich of turkey, bacon, and cheesy Mornay sauce, which he then baked and served hot.
I mean, that looks incredible.
Was an immediate hit and has been quenching cravings ever since. No dish says Louisiana more than jambalaya, a centuries-old pairing of Spanish paella plus French and African culinary traditions and cooking techniques. Jambalaya usually includes a selection of meat, vegetables, and spices, all simmered together with rice in a tomato-based
What's
broth.
that?
It's a savory and slightly sweet
That's
entree
shrimp.
with a subtle kick of heat that Louisianans can't help but crave. Prior to the 1800s, lobster was considered a poor man's food and in such low demand that farmers used lobster meat to fertilize their fields.
No
Today, though,
way.
lobster is a high-end
What?
entree, and than the folks living in Maine. As the largest lobster-producing state in the nation, maniacs know a thing or two.
Hey guys, be honest. How many fish foodies do we have in the comments box down below? And if I was to try a fish dish, what should I try? Where should I start apart from crabs? I'm not eating them ever again in my life. Should I try like lobster or something? Whenever I look at these meals, it's just fish, isn't it?
About preparing in-demand seafood, and they can't get enough of the lobster roll. Chunks of fresh lobster mixed with mayo and served atop a buttery toasted bun. It's a comfort food classic. Like the lobster roll, by a regional abundance of seafood. In this case, Maryland and the state's incredible blue crabs. A classic Maryland crab cake usually includes fresh lump crab meat, mayonnaise, breadcrumbs, Old Bay seasoning,
I don't know about that.
mustard, and Worcestershire sauce. These
I don't know about
ingredients are
that.
mixed together and shaped into patties that are then fried or broiled until crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. It's a dish so popular that locals have been scarfing it down for nearly a century. Another East Coast
You know what my problem lies with these foods? They all look amazing. Just whenever you have to actually eat them.
state, another perfect seafood-inspired comfort dish. This time, it's clam chowder, the comfort food of choice throughout the state of Massachusetts.
What is
This
that?
simple yet hearty
The
soup,
soup?
which combines chopped clams, potatoes, onions, bacon, and either milk or cream, has been uber popular throughout the Bay State since at least the 18th
I mean, that
century.
does sound
In
nice. I've
fact,
just never tried
America's
clams
oldest
before.
Restaurant, the Union Oyster House in Boston, has been serving the soup consistently on its menu since the place first opened up way back in 1826. How does a Coney
Jesus.
Island-inspired hot dog end up the comfort food of choice in Michigan? Think Greek immigrants who were inspired by the hot dogs they ate in Brooklyn and took that idea west to their new homes. Numerous
God.
Coney Island-style restaurants popped up throughout Detroit in the early 1900s, and some are still in operation today. The star of their menu? The classic Coney, a beef hot dog topped with all-meat chili, yellow mustard, and diced onions, and served in
I'm gonna need to get a hot dog as well. I'm gonna have to get a hot dog. I
a
have
warm,
to.
steamed bun.
I have to get.
What could be better than a classic all-beef cheeseburger? Well, if you're from Minnesota, your answer has got to be the Juicy Lucy. A beloved Minnesota delicacy, the Juicy
Juicy
Lucy
Lucy?
is a
What's that
rich,
sound like a
savory
porn
beef
star's name?
burger stuffed with cheese. And as that burger cooks, that cheese melts into a molten core of golden gooey goodness, just waiting for you to bite into. Out-of-towners may add onions, pickles, or bacon, but locals keep it simple and let their Lucy shine. As legend has it, Mississippi's po' boy got its start when a pair of former streetcar conductors turned restaurateurs and opened a popular eatery. To give back to the community, they handed out free sandwiches to folks who were down on their luck. The sandwiches varied considerably. Some had roast beef, some contained chicken fingers, and some packed fried seafood. But they all had one thing in common. They were served on a French-style baguette they called po' boy bread. The name stuck, and Mississippians are still clamoring for the sandwich.
It's just like anytime I see sandwiches like this, I just think about what we kind of like. We are just bog standard, plain as you can get, Jane. Ham, tuna, egg and onion, bacon. That's all we really have here.
Even now. The story of toasted ravioli is a simple one. A tired Missouri chef was rushing to finish an order he was working on when he accidentally dropped a few large ravioli in hot oil instead of boiling water. The restaurant's owner tried to salvage them with some Parmesan, and everyone loved them. Soon, these toasted ravioli were popping up throughout St. Louis, before spreading across the Show Me State to the rest of the country.
My
I
God.
guess the only thing I did was get some toasted ravioli. I grew up on that, so anytime I come back here, I always got to eat it.
My
A
goodness.
classic Native American dish that's been popular in Montana for generations, fry bread tacos take everything there is
So is there only certain foods actually in certain states then? Like all the foods I'm seeing aren't available across the board. They're only like specific to certain states.
to love about Mexican food and elevate it with the
That's
warm,
fucking so
yeasty,
awesome. I love
crisp
that.
bite you can only get from fresh baked bread. Starting with fried bread, you then top it with spicy seasoned ground beef, tomatoes, cheese, salsa, and sour cream. No wonder the fry bread taco is such a favored comfort staple.
Bro, this video was a
If you
bad
haven't
idea,
spent
wasn't
a
it?
lot of
I'm
time in Nebraska,
fucking
then the Runza
starving
sandwich
now.
may be a mystery. But for any true Cornhusker, there's no debating the incredible appeal of the Runza. Believed to have been brought to the state in the late 1800s by German and Russian immigrants.
What does that look like,
a
someone's
typical
leg,
Runza
bro?
consists of savory pastry dough that's stuffed with ground beef, onions, and cabbage, and then baked to a crispy golden brown. The regional delicacy is so popular that it's even inspired a fast food chain which operates almost exclusively within the state. Maybe it's Nevada's link to all those famous 19th century cattle drives. Maybe it's because Las Vegas was home to the country's first ever all-you-can-eat buffet, where prime rib was a main attraction. Maybe it's the famous roaming prime rib cart at Laurie's The Prime Rib in Las Vegas, which carves and serves up slice after slice of succulent prime rib tableside. Whatever the reason, when it comes to comfort food in Nevada, nothing gets more love than tender, juicy prime rib.
Oh my god.
Comfort foods often blossom in regions where ingredients are in the greatest supply. So what do locals
That
in New
looks
Hampshire,
so good.
one of the
I
nation's
can't even
leaders in
describe.
the production of maple syrup, flock to when looking for a taste of home? Maple syrup, of course. And what goes better with the kick of maple than a mountain of pillowy, soft, warm, buttery pancakes?
Beautiful.
And they're not just for breakfast. Throw some bacon or sausage on the plate to sop up that syrup. And
You know,
you've got
I said to somebody on my Twitch chat a couple of weeks ago that you can put scrambled eggs with pancakes, and I got attacked. I got verbally attacked saying I was a disgrace to food, and I'm so glad to see this. So glad,
classic
because it's
comfort
so
meal
good.
for any hour. Depending on where you grew up in Jersey, you may call the state's official sandwich a pork roll, or you might call it a Taylor ham. But however you order it, the ingredients are the same. Slices of processed smoked pork roll ham that's pan-fried until crispy and then topped with egg and cheese and then placed between two slices of a Couser roll or sliced bagel. It's simple, it's affordable, it's versatile,
It's
it
nice.
works for every meal. And for folks living in the Garden State, nothing tastes more
Doesn't
like
look
home.
great,
When I go to the store, I say pork roll, egg, and cheese.
but it
One
is
of the
great.
most popular of all comfort foods in New Mexico is what's known as albondigas, or Mexican meatball soup. Imagine a sea of homemade beef and pork meatballs swimming in a zesty tomato broth with some added chunks of carrots, potato, and zucchini. And you have a pretty good idea just why this dish is
fuck
so
is a
widely
zucchini?
loved across the state. Talk about comfort. Buffalo
No,
wings
talk
were
of- no,
created in
I won't.
Buffalo, New York, at the Anchor Bar, which is still in operation today. These crispy fried wings are doused in a tangy, spicy sauce and served up with a side of blue cheese
Bro,
dressing. Plus
buffalo
celery.
wings
They
are
remain
it.
a favorite across the Empire State even now, nearly 60
Wings. You don't get any better than wings, especially buffalo wings. They take me away.
years later, and have spread across the nation.
Feel like
become
I'm in
a
New
favorite
York.
of sports fans everywhere.
3,000 tangy wings packed in a black contractor bag, thrown straight through your window in time for kickoff.
North Carolinians know that few culinary dishes pack more beauty than a giant piece of pork shoulder slow cooking over fiery coals. The hours-long process infuses the meat with rich, smoky flavor while also breaking it down until it's melt-in-your-mouth tender. When it's done, pull it apart to serve it.
When
You've
it's
got a
done, it
Carolina
looks
pulled
like
pork.
sick,
The
but it
only
is
thing
great.
left to debate is whether you
Yeah.
top it with the vinegar-based sauce, popular in the eastern part of the state, based sauce, popular in the west. Choices, choices, choices. Leave it to the folks in North Dakota, one of the nation's leading producers of potatoes, to figure out the ideal way to make an already craveable potato even more delicious. All you have to do is dip your chips in chocolate, of course.
No. No, absolutely no. What am I looking at?
It may sound odd, but the unique marriage of salty and sweet is an ideal union. And this is one treat you don't have to live in North Dakota to experience. Just melt some chocolate and add a chip. It's
No.
that simple. The Buckeye is
What?
a classic Ohio comfort food that you have to try at least once in your life. This candy confection consists of a ball of peanut butter and sugar dough that's been dipped in chocolate and then chilled until firm. The name
That
for the
sounds
candy comes
unreal.
from the state's official tree, which produces a similar looking nut that is mostly dark brown with a speck of lighter brown that is said to resemble the eye of a deer. Clever and pretty darn tasty. Like Indiana's breaded pork tenderloin sandwich, Oklahoma's comfort food of choice also draws inspiration from the classic Austrian dish Wiener Schnitzel. Only, in this case, the protein in question is a breaded piece of steak. And instead of eating it between two pieces of bread, the classic chicken fried steak is typically served next to a mound of mashed potatoes and topped with a rich, savory gravy. It's the perfect down-home traditional meal for one of the states that leads the nation in beef production.
Nothing wrong with green beans and a chicken fried steak.
Fucking love beef.
Named after the Pacific Coast town known as Dungeness, where it was first harvested commercially, Dungeness crab has been a staple of the Oregon culinary landscape for decades, and for good reason. As fresh seafood goes, it's among the best you can eat. Sweet, delicate, and slightly nutty flavors.
Just break his legs off, bro. Am I right in saying that half the time those crabs are still alive? Like, do they get boiled or some shit? Or am I thinking of lobsters? Because lobsters are still alive when you stick them in the boil. And then you just rip his legs off. Imagine someone from the sky picked us up and started ripping our limbs off and started eating us, bro. The disrespect. Crabs should be sang a song before you do that. And then rip their legs off. Sing them a nice song. Maybe put them to sleep. And then do it.
Moist and perfect with just a slight hit of butter or freshly squeezed lemon. In Pennsylvania, the comfort food of choice combines bits of ham, bacon, sausage, and other unwanted pork scraps, plus cornmeal and spices to make something altogether new and unique. Scrapple. Cut into slices and fried up with breakfast, or cubed and added to omelets, soup, or stew, scrapple is a meat product you have to try in order to truly appreciate.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, that looks like something that was used to build my house. I don't know if I'm okay with knowing that that's supposed to be bacon, sausage, and something else. I'm sure that's nice. But this is, like I said earlier, the beauty about food. Sometimes it doesn't have to look nice to be nice, because that looks like blocked up diarrhea.
Scrapple, I don't want to know what's in it.
Eyeballs and tongues.
Has everything imaginable in it.
Rhode Island has taken clams in a different direction with the stuffy. Made from fresh chopped clams, plus breadcrumbs, butter, onions, celery, garlic, and spices, the stuffy mixes all the ingredients together, scoops them into a shell, and bakes them until golden brown. For many who grew up in the Ocean State, stuffies epitomize summer and family trips to the beach. Exactly the memories you want from a beloved comfort meal. The comfort food that folks in South Carolina judge for the most.
Like I said earlier, guys, one of my problems with this video so far is these foods aren't making me feel comfortable, bro. We're ripping crabs' legs off. We're squeezing bacon and sausage into the green blocks. I don't know, man. I'm not comfortable.
A dip, and an incredible one at that. Pimento cheese. Made from a simple blend of grated sharp cheddar cheese, plus diced pimentos and mayonnaise, this spreadable comfort in a bowl is great with fresh veggies or crackers. It can also be used in sandwiches. Try it in a grilled cheese. Life-changing.
Pimento is a cheese. They call it the caviar of the South.
Whether people in South Dakota are attending a festival, a fair, or a backyard barbecue, there's always one amazing comfort food on the menu: chislik. A variation of the Persian word shishlik, chislik is a play on the classic shish kebab, brought to the region by German and Russian immigrants who settled the area in the late 1800s. The dish typically consists of bite-sized cubes of lamb, beef, or venison that are seasoned with garlic, onion, and black pepper, and then grilled or deep-fried. Everybody knows and loves classic American fried chicken, but kick that crisp, juicy treat up a notch by adding cayenne pepper, paprika, garlic powder, and black pepper, and you've got a Tennessee favorite, hot chicken. Believed to be the result of another fortuitous kitchen blunder when a chef accidentally added too much spice in her fried chicken.
I don't know what it is. You see this pink and white checkered paper that they put underneath food? I don't know, there's just something about it that just, it adds like a, you can almost taste it. I don't know, I feel like it's like a placebo, isn't it? It's like, it makes you, I don't know.
The dish has now become part of the cultural fabric of Nashville.
I said a whole lot of nothing there, but you know what I mean.
With dill pickles. The cool acidity helps to cut through all that fire. Texas
I love
is
a
the
pickle.
home of Tex-Mex,
Love a pickle.
an incredible fusion of traditional Mexican and American cuisines.
Chili
and the
con
star
carne.
of the Tex-Mex family is chili con carne. Originally derived from a traditional Mexican stew of meat and chili peppers, the dish is a hearty and easily transportable food that was a natural fit for the Lone Star State's early cowboys and settlers.
Beautiful.
Made from a mix of ground beef, chili peppers, onions, tomatoes, and spices, chili con carne is great on its own and even more spectacular when topped with shredded cheese, sour cream, and diced onions. Don't worry, funeral potatoes aren't actually deadly. It's just the name Utah's
funeral potatoes
given this highly comforting potato casserole classic. It's ideal for a lazy Sunday brunch, large family get-together, or any community potluck.
Nah. Whenever I die, I am 100% having the meal of choice. I don't even know if people eat at funerals, but if they do, I'm making sure funeral potatoes are on the menu. What the f?
The basic funeral potato recipe includes cubed potatoes, cream of mushroom soup, sour cream, and shredded cheddar cheese mixed together, and topped with cornflakes or breadcrumbs before baking. Creamy, savory, and perfect for sharing.
Cornflakes and potatoes.
Vermont is
Okay.
home to some of the world's top apple orchards and is a leader in the production of apple cider. So adding that crisp, refreshing juice to donuts was a natural idea. Apple cider donuts are typically made from a mixture of flour, sugar, baking powder, cinnamon, nutmeg, salt, eggs, butter, and of course, apple cider. The dough is fried and then coated with a thick layer of cinnamon.
You guys
and
are
sugar.
different over there,
Look
man.
for homemade versions at
You guys
farmers
are different.
markets and roadside stands.
You guys
throughout
are doing it
state.
the way it
They're
should
a
be done.
Vermont staple. Long before Egg McMuffins, there was the Virginia ham biscuit, one of the first portable grab-and-go meals and a classical Dominion comfort food even today. First created back in the colonial era, ham biscuits were originally all about the ham. Almost all rural families raised and smoked their own meat, and putting a couple of slices of that homegrown ham in the middle of a fresh biscuit, perhaps with some added mustard, mayo, or honey, was considered an ideal way to help the meat shine.
See, my problem with those are though, it's like they're fucking dry, aren't they?
State
Like
is one of the leading producers
so
of sweet
dry.
cherries in the U.S. And when you have a lot of cherries, you make
some mayo
cherry
or
pie.
sauce, I know,
This
but-
delicious confection has been a popular dessert and one of the state's most beloved comfort
Oh
foods
my
since
God, that
settlers
looks
first
like
arrived
something
in
out
the
of a
region and brought
cartoon.
their cherry trees with them. A perfect mixture of sweet and tart flavors, cherry pie ticks off all the boxes for just what makes a comfort food so appealing. One of West
Give me
Virginia's
it.
most beloved regional specialties, the
Oh,
pepperoni roll,
pepperoni,
is a bit
yeah.
like a rolled up slice of
Yep.
pizza, except it's made with a thicker, flakier bread dough. And the average pepperoni roll tends to be stuffed with way more filling. Mountains of pepperoni, shredded mozzarella, onion, peppers, and marinara sauce, all heated to perfection inside the portable bread shell. Originally created by Italian immigrants working in the state's coal mines, the humble pepperoni roll has since gone on to become the official meal of the Mountain State. Wisconsin is known for its cheese, so it's no surprise that their favorite comfort food is a cheese-based dish.
Is that like
Cheese curds,
halloumi?
bite-sized chunks of
Similar to
leftover
like
fresh
halloumi?
cheese that are produced during the making of other cheeses like cheddar, Colby, or Monterey Jack, are one of the state's most popular appetizers and snacks. The shards of cheese, which squeak when you eat them raw, are batter dipped and then deep fried to gooey perfection. Wyoming is one of the largest states in the nation, but also the least
Bison
populated.
burger.
Fortunately, all that wide open space leaves
Hey,
plenty
hey,
of
hey.
room for natural
What did the
wonders.
bison say to his son when he went off to school? Bye, son.
Including the country's largest herds of buffalo, or bison. Bison burgers use some of that abundant meat, swapping it for beef in any classic hamburger recipe. The result is a leaner, greasier, slightly sweet-tasting burger that folks in the Equality State can't get enough of.
I wanna try that.
The popularity of bison burgers exploding in recent years.
I want to try that. Guys, you guys want to like send me a load of food and I'll try them for a video? I think we should do that. Every time I watch one of these videos about the states, it makes me want to move more and more. It makes me want to move. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes me want to move to the United States. I'm really hungry right now, so I'm going to go and make something in my kitchen that's probably not going to be anywhere near as nice as any of the meals we just seen there. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe if you liked that much. That would be great. But either way, if you don't do either of that, go fuck you. I'm joking. First, have a good day.